Hiya! Welcome! So here we are with a box set unboxing that I've been looking forward to doing since I pre-ordered it back in, it would have been early September. This, of course, as you know from the title and the thumbnail, is the unboxing of the definitive edition set of the New Order album, their fourth studio album, had to think for a moment, Brotherhood, and also there's the bonus, the cost extra, but the associated 12-inch single reissues. So I've done all the previous New Order definitive edition box set unboxings on this channel. Please go and check in my Misc VC and music unboxings playlist. This has sort of been released out of time in the wrong order, because last year, rather than release a definitive edition for Brotherhood, the re-release Substance came out, and I've done a video showing you that and the associated 12-inch singles as well. I was pleased that they re-released Substance. I wondered why they would do it after the Low Life box set rather than after the Brotherhood one, because Substance is from 1987, Brotherhood originally 1986. But regardless, they got back to releasing the definitive editions that I absolutely love, and we're going to get cracking with it right now. This is the day it's come out. It came pretty early this morning in this big box here that I have taken other stuff out, but there is still other boxes and mailers here. So just to give you a quick look, these will be the 12-inch singles, and this rather more heavy one is of course the definitive edition box set itself. Let's do the 12-inch singles first. By the way, the total price of this order, and it's from Townsend Music this time, I decided to use them rather than the official New Order store, as I think they worked out very slightly cheaper, and there was no exclusive items that only the New Order store had, like there was for the Substance reissue campaign and the Low Life one, the Low Life definitive edition. Also, they were selling an exclusive Perfect Kiss, I think it was clear vinyl 12-inch single, and the Substance 1987 reissues. One of those was a New Order store exclusive double cassette, which, and I've mentioned this before, certainly to friends, if not on the channel, the reissue cassette is rubbish. I wouldn't even bother with it as anything other than a decorative item. Anyway, let's get on with looking at these 12-inch singles. So they've come in like a sort of a mailer here. The total price of this order, I think it includes postage, was £205.50. So probably the most expensive definitive edition plus 12-inch bundle yet. Got some sort of packing slip with a bit of writing on it there. Unusual mailer that, as these 12 inches were enveloped within this cellophane here. Just having a look at that. Yeah, it tells me the grand total exactly. It was £205.48. Right then, let's took that to one side, and I'll start showing you the singles. So I've not got any of these singles on original 12-inch. I deliberately made that choice because, as long-time viewers know, I have been adding a lot of vinyl to my New Order and related collection over this year. But because I wait for the definitive edition box sets to come out, and then there's always associated singles that get reissued as well, I was waiting for the 12-inch versions of these, but I have got all these on 7-inch. First one is what would have been the first single from Brotherhood, although I think originally, and getting into the box set might help me to kind of verify that or otherwise. Originally, I don't actually think this was included on Brotherhood, but this is State of the Nation. It barely says anything on it. There's a little bit of writing on the bottom. That's probably just some sort of copyright bump under the barcode. B-side on this, I think, will be Shame of the Nation. I'm not going to get this open. It's black vinyl. I will be showing you a bit of vinyl soon, obviously, when we get into the box set proper. That's the main event. This is just the entree, really. But yep, happy to have got this on 12-inch for the first time. I know a lot of New Order fans and just music collectors in general do prefer originals to reissues, and I've got all the original 7-inches because they don't look like they're ever going to get reissued. There's no point really, but I like that these 12-inch singles are getting reissued ever since the Movement box set back in 2018, and we had Ceremony, Procession, Temptation, etc. going on through the years throughout the 80s, and now we're up to the Brotherhood era with State of the Nation there. Next up is one, I've actually got this on US import CD single as well as 7-inch. It's probably my favourite New Order single of all time. It's certainly between this and another one really that is my all-time favourite, but it's Bizarre Love Triangle. The B-side of this, and I'm having to do this from memory because there is no track information on the front or the back here, is Bizarre Dub Triangle, I believe. I think it's just a 2-track 12-inch. Lovely stuff, brilliant track, brilliant single. Criminally didn't do anything in the British chart. Well, I say didn't do anything, if you can count number, 50 something, or it might have even been 60 something as doing something in the UK singles chart, then yeah, but it did well in America, and it remains a fan favourite to this day. These singles, there's 3 of them by the way, so I'll be showing you the final one next. They had a little bit of a discount if you ordered them as a bundle on Townsend, so I think that's part of the reason why this ended up, the whole lot of this ended up being a little bit cheaper than ordering it from the New Order store. Then next up is Touched by the Hand of God. Now this isn't on Brotherhood, and nor was it on Substance the following year. This actually came out as a single, it would have been late 1987, and I was expecting them to reissue this when Substance came out, because they reissued both True Faith 12-inches and then also Blue Monday 1988, but they skipped Touched by the Hand of God, which was disappointing. But fortunately they have reissued it, albeit slightly out of order, but that doesn't matter, with the Brotherhood singles. So the tracks on here, because there is the track listing, is Touched by the Hand of God, Touched by the Hand of Dub. Once again, I do have this on original 7-inch and also CD single. This was technically New Order's first CD single that ever came out, although there was also a CD video for True Faith, but that might have come out after Touched by the Hand of God. It gets confusing, it doesn't matter. There we go. So the 12-inch singles, really pleased to have got them in my collection. But now we move on to the main event, the Brotherhood Definitive Edition box set. So it looks like I will need my knife again. I know I say it all the time when I'm doing these unboxings, but I really love these Definitive Edition sets. And you'll see why if you've never watched any of these videos before that I've done about these New Order box sets. Not only am I owning the albums on vinyl for the first time, certainly in the case of their first 4 studio albums plus the Substance compilation, I've never owned any of those on vinyl prior. Another reason why I think it's just worth me hanging on rather than looking for other reissues. Trying to be a bit careful here. Oh, here we are. Right, I'll chuck this cardboard out of the way, then hopefully that reduces at least a little bit the chance of me pulling at my microphone wire and everything toppling over. And there it is, New Order Brotherhood, certified 15, because there is DVDs in here, as there has been in all the sets. Look at the back, this will be one of those sort of content sheets that are sort of slightly stuck to the back of the box, but I always insert them in the box anyway, once I've got it open. Doesn't seem to be any hype sticker for me to try and conserve, so generally with these definitive editions I kind of tear into them really, the cellophane of course. I'm careful otherwise. But just to give you a brief run through of what we're getting in here, so the original studio album on LP, I think it's just 1 disc LP, and then also a remastered version on CD. So doubled up within the box. I do own Brotherhood on the, I think it was 2009 expanded reissue CD, and also I've got it on cassette as well. So this will be the 3rd and 4th time I'm owning this album, and it is my 2nd favourite New Order album of all time, this. But it's the first time I've owned it on vinyl. Also in here are 2 DVDs. I don't think they've had 2 DVDs in a box before. They've always had at least one. I could be misremembering. The Low Life box might have had 2 DVDs in. Please go back and watch it to check. I'll probably end up checking myself. And I've got the Low Life set still, obviously. I don't get rid of any of my collection. But we'll get on to what's on the DVDs later. There's also a bonus CD with extras, which I'm really excited about. I'm looking forward to that. And there'll also be a nice hardback book in here. Right, let's get this open. So I think it's got a belly band around it. Do I need my knife? I don't think I do, actually. The cellophane's just tearing off nice and easy. No hype sticker, so I can basically throw that out. So yeah, the belly band is holding the info sheet, really. As for the belly band itself, I ought to really get that off and stick this within the box later on as well. The first of these definitive editions for the debut album Movement, I did get about a year, maybe a year and a half after it originally came out, because when it first came out in 2018 I didn't even have a record player, and although I was caught up in the hype for the definitive edition, I, as not being back into vinyl, had no initial intentions to collect these definitive editions. Taking me a little while to get this off carefully. It can be sort of undone, look, with that bit of tape there, but I'd rather try and keep it as is. Really nice feeling set. Just feels quality. The New Order Brotherhood lettering is somewhat embossed with this line between the two. If this is like all the other sets, it'll just be a lift off lid. So let's get into it. There's the top lid. It's got one of those handy ribbons that help you take stuff out. And as you can see on the top is the vinyl album. So the first time I've owned Brotherhood on vinyl. Brotherhood's an album that does divide people. I, as I say, love it. It's my second favourite New Order album. I get why some people are a bit unsure about it, because the way they formatted it was a little bit unusual at the time, where the first side, side A, side 1, was all this sort of guitar-y indie tracks, and side B was pretty much all electronic and synth based, rather than it being sort of more mixed up. I was actually expecting this to be a gatefold. It probably wasn't a gatefold originally. It's come in rather boring, but I suppose handy anti-static inner there. Not the most exciting edition of the album, certainly, but it's probably, apart from the anti-static in it, it probably is relatively true to the original 1986 LP. Excellent stuff. I'll just put that over here for now. Next up, I think, is the book. Yes, it is. I love these. These books are fantastic. They're just full of rare photos, little bits of information, an essay probably. Now obviously I can't show you the book in its entirety, but I'll skim a few pages and hopefully you'll get a basic gist. Funnily enough, Stephen Morris, the New Order drummer, did do an unboxing of this set, and I didn't watch it. I should have done, really, because it's not like there was any spoilers in it. I knew what was going to be in it, but it's just, I felt it would have taken away from my excitement of receiving this set myself if I saw someone else unbox it first, even though, you know, it's the guy from New Order, and I'd be excited anyway. Yeah, this looks like it's got a ton of great reading material in it. Some really nice photos. I think I had that poster for a while back in the day. Loads of stuff in here. I think these inclusive books here are fantastic. These really sort of make the set worth buying for me, as otherwise you're just getting an album, some CDs and some DVDs really, whereas the book just, it completes the package really. Alright then, so we'll show you the discs. I'll just give you a quick look at what will be the bottom of the box now. The first one is the album once again, but on CD. It does have like a little inner sleeve there, which is nice. It's a CD, you can't really say much more. But perhaps a little more exciting, as I already have the album on expanded CD and on cassette anyway, is the bonus CD, the extras, if you will. Now I'm going to put my glasses on now because I do want to read some of this stuff. So this will be sort of rare stuff, outtakes, demos maybe from around this Brotherhood recording era. Track 1 is Shell Shock AOR version, 2 State of the Nation Japan demo, Paradise Robert Ratchich remix, which I think I've got, or I think I've heard certainly years ago, As It Is When It Was Japan demo, an instrumental of Broken Promise, 12-inch Stephen Hague remix of Bizarre Love Triangle. I know I've got that somewhere on the BLT American CD single, I think. Track 7, instrumental of All Day Long. Track 8, Evil Dust, which was kind of like a remake or a remix of Angel Dust, one of the album tracks. Track 9, Every Little Counts, the full-length version, which I don't think I've heard before. Track 10, Salvation Theme. 11, Skull Crusher. 12, Touched by the Hand of God, the Salvation version. Track 13, Let's Go. Track 14, Sputnik. All those from Salvation Theme onwards are on, of course, the Salvation soundtrack album, which I did manage to pick up on vinyl some months ago. And the final track on this extras disc is the Michael Johnson 12-inch remix of Blue Monday 1988, which I believe had never come out until this box set. So some nice extras here. I've not actually read what the actual album tracks are. I mean, if you're a big New Order fan, you're going to know, but I probably should read them out. And handily, we've got them on this inner sleeve here. So the normal Brotherhood album, side 1, Paradise, Weirdo, As It Is When It Was, Broken Promise, and Way of Life. And side 2, Bizarre Love Triangle, spelt bizarre with 2 Z's there, where it should only have 1. All Day Long, Angel Dust, Every Little Counts. I believe that's the right track listing and track order as well. I'll go back to the album itself and just double check on that, and also see if State of the Nation appears on here. Yeah, they've put State of the Nation on the end on the CD, but whether they've done it for the vinyl, I'm not sure, because the original vinyl issues didn't include it. Anyway, finally we'll look at the DVDs. So we've got 2 DVDs this time. So DVD 1 here, it's a live show from Brixton Academy. So that'll be the Academy release. It was out on video back in the day. I did have that video many years ago, and kind of hoped that it might get a DVD reissue, so that's really good actually. So pleased that they've actually released that on DVD for the first time. And it's also got interviews which would have been included on the original Academy VHS as well. And then also we've got TV appearances, playing Ceremony, Love Will Tear Us Apart on BBC Northern Ireland in 1986. I never knew that they performed Love Will Tear Us Apart on television as late as 86. I knew that New Order did perform certain Joy Division tracks occasionally in concert throughout the 80s, but yeah, I'm so excited to see that, 'cause I've got a lot of New Order clips DVDs, sort of unofficial stuff that I've bought over the years, and certainly the BBC Northern Ireland stuff isn't on any of them. Then State of the Nation and Broken Promise on the Tube from 86, True Faith from Top of the Pops 1987, Paradise and Bizarre Love Triangle from Les Enfants de Rock Line 1987, True Faith on the Roxy, that was the ITV equivalent of Top of the Pops, that lasted about a year, in 87. Bizarre Love Triangle on 11 PM Japanese TV, also from 87. And then there's some Japanese studio footage rounding us off on this disc, recording As It Is When It Was and State of the Nation in 1985 from Denon Studios in Tokyo. It gives the little disclaimer about some of the DVD footage being derived from original sources, so it might not be the best quality, but that's understandable. Brilliant stuff. I've not even looked at the second DVD yet. I've got a feeling I know what's on the second DVD, and I'm very happy about it. But I'd forgotten that the Academy gig, which I've not seen in probably 30 years nearly, has finally had a reissue within this set. So plenty of good viewing on DVD 1 there. These outer slip cases are a little bit tight, I will say. Second disc, last thing to look at. Now, yes, I remembered correctly. The live show that is included on DVD 2 is from the GMEX in Manchester in 1986, and that was New Order's headline set at the Festival of the 10th Summer. I've had the bootleg CD for that for many years, and I read in someone's book, it might have been Stephen Morris's actually, that it was actually filmed, intended for a factory video release, the Festival of the 10th Summer, or at least New Order's headline set from there, and it just never got released, and like the footage was presumed lost or hidden or something, and it's actually come out for the very first time. So a gig that I've listened to plenty of times and that I'm very familiar with in sort of New Order lore, factory Manchester music lore, actually be able to watch it for the first time. Also, there's clips of other live shows: True Faith and Sister Ray at Glastonbury in '87, Dreams Never End from San Giovanni in 1986, All Day Long, Angel Dust, Shell Shock and Weirdo from Pier 84, New York in '87, True Faith from La Mutualité, Paris in '87, and going back to the GMEX, but it won't have been anything to do with the Festival of the 10th Summer because it was 2 years later, for Touched by the Hand of God and Every Little Counts. I won't get the other DVD out because I'm sure it'll look almost identical. Actually, I will get the little inner sleeve bit out just to see if that looks any different. Oh, that's a nice shot of fans there. Brilliant, you know, plenty to go at here. What I'm most excited about, well, owning the album on vinyl for the first time was something that I was looking forward to. Don't really need the album on CD again. I can understand why they include it, and if you're a collector of these sets and you don't have a record player, then while the vinyl is pretty superfluous, at least you got a copy of it on CD within the set, and the set for me is still well worth getting whether you own a turntable or not. Both DVDs look fantastic. The extras disc looks, there's some stuff on there that isn't as rare as it purports, but there is other stuff that I am unfamiliar with. This is looking to be a 10 out of 10 box set for me. Yeah, there's the book. I'm just putting everything back the way it came in now. The book, of course, I love those hardback coffee table style books that you get in the New Order definitive editions. One last look at the... Oh, it did have an inner sleeve in it. I didn't know it came with that, and it makes sense, obviously. So I'm glad I actually found that before I put this back. No, this one doesn't have State of the Nation on it, the LP version, so they are staying true to replicating the original vinyl release as much as possible there. And then I'll put the info sheet, which I do like, and this belly band in here as well. Close the lid up. Oh, sort my ribbon out as well. And there we go. The New Order Brotherhood box set. Definitive edition. Love these. What's left to come regarding the definitive edition series? Well, Technique, and that's my favourite album of all time. Next year, maybe we'll get it. I can't see there being any definitive editions after Technique, to be honest. I could be wrong, and they might release them for Republic, Get Ready, etc. But I think because Technique is the final Factory Records New Order album, that'll be the final definitive edition. That's just me speculating, so don't quote me on it thinking I've got some inside information, because I haven't. I wish I had. And if they do continue to release the definitive editions after Technique, then I will be very pleased about that, even though I've got the albums on vinyl in the case of Republic onwards and the original 12 inches, etc. But still, I'd still get the definitive edition sets. Oh yeah, and one more look at the 3 12-inch singles there as well. So happy to get this, an expensive luxury item. Technique, I really hope they release it. I'm sure they will. I mean, it might not be for more than a year. These things kind of don't have a specific timeline. And as I said earlier, this one has come out of order really, with Substance reissues getting released before the 86 Brotherhood definitive set. Right, thank you all for watching this. It's gone on quite a while, but I wanted to be fairly thorough. There'll be other better box set unboxings, but for those of you who join me because you might be channel regulars or you just happened across this video in some sort of recommendation, I do appreciate it. Let me know if you've got this Brotherhood set and or any of the re-released 12-inch singles. I'm absolutely made up with it, as I have been with all the other definitive edition sets. Special thanks go to my wonderful subscribers and generous patrons. I'm gonna go now, and what else am I gonna do but start listening to all this stuff and start watching and reading all this good stuff as well, because we've got vinyl, CDs, DVDs and a lovely high quality book all to get through. Long live the New Order definitive edition series. Onwards and upwards to Technique, please God, let there not be too many delays with that, because that will be the first time I own Technique on vinyl, believe it or not. My very favourite album of all time, and I don't own a vinyl copy of it. Please will you join me again next time for my next New Order related video. Actually, my next New Order related video will be out in 2 days time, so have a look at that and see what I've added to my collection there. But I'm gonna go. Cheers everyone. See ya.